Hey, what is going on, Twintendo Nation? Hope you're having an awesome day. Today we are doing a double anime episode review since we missed last week's. Unfortunately, I was ill, and then it's kind of, always awkward around Christmas because it's busy. So we're going to cover this week's episode, of course, but we're going to talk about last week's episode first. So the episodes we're going to be talking about today, I'm going to get a ton of Pokemon, The Road to Mew, which was episode 6, and then we're also going to be talking about the episode that just recently aired, the Hoenn region, Side to Fierce Fights, the Battle Frontier Challenge, which is, of course, episode 7. So we're going to review those episodes as usual. If you do enjoy it, make sure to hit the like button down below. Subscribe if you want to stay up to date with everything Pokemon anime. And let's start off about, episode 6. Let's talk about episode 6 all. So this was Go catching a lot of Pokemon, his Road to Mew. What did you think of this episode?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good episode. It's one of them where I didn't feel too bad that we'd missed it because it wasn't very plot heavy. It was just sort of seeing Go realise his goal had changed and that he was deciding to basically make Mew his last Pokemon to catch. And in it we see how he goes from really inexperienced at catching Pokemon to getting some quite skillful catches in and along the way. He sort of follows the footsteps of Ash, catching the first Pokemon being a Caterpie, and then he decides, hey, I want to catch every bug Pokemon in Kanto. He sort of has that addictive nature that Pokemon Go shows off, how you want to catch everything. And we get some references throughout all that to Pokemon Go, with the ball being, a good throw, great or excellent.
I think that can also be Let's Go as well. Let's Go Pikachu.
Absolutely, yeah. And then he's like, oh, I want to get a curveball on this one. And you really see the influence of how, these games have sort of changed the landscape of Pokemon in general. Overall, a decent episode. There were some cool scenes, some interesting Pokemon. We did get to see some interesting things in the background, James, didn't we? With one particular Pokemon of Ash, we reckon.
Well, yeah, I didn't really notice this until you mentioned it, like just a few minutes before recording. But yeah, there was a Pidgeot in the forest, and of course we know that Ash left his Pidgeot at one of the forests near Pallet Town. Whether this is the same forest, I'm not sure, since they are based in Vermilion City now and not Pallet Town. But there is, a big chance that this could have either be just a wild Pidgeot or Ash's one. But like, Ash never gets to see it, which might be hinting that he's just missed out seeing his Pidgeot. I think as a Pokemon fan, we all want Ash to see his Pidgeot again. He said he'd come back for it, and it's been 20 plus years, still never seen it again. So yeah, it's kind of a nice little nod, but I don't know. For me, I'm going to say it's not Ash's Pidgeot.
I'm going to give you a reason, James, why I think it is. We see Pidgey and Pidgeotto early on in the episode very clearly, and then when we see this Pidgeot, it's shot from underneath in terms of the camera, and so you don't quite see what it is, and it's all darkened to give it that mysterious vibe. Ash was going to chase down a Pokemon as Go went to go find the Beedrill. Of course, the Beedrill come out and interrupt Ash for whatever he was looking for. I think it's pretty good chance that was his Pidgeot.
I just think the amount of Pidgeots we've seen, and we've even seen a Pidgeot I think it was episode 2 in a previous episode at Professor Sagaragi's lecture kind of thing.
I just wonder why they would need to hide it.
Well, I was going to say though, like with that Pidgeot, it looked like it was around Pallet Town and stuff. Maybe it's the same one, but I think there's going to be so many Pidgeots. I'm going to say it isn't, just because I think there's so many, but that isn't the important bit. Go catches a lot of Pokemon. As Ollie said, he catches all the bug Pokemon of Kanto, which is obviously like Weedle, Kakuna, Beedrill. He doesn't evolve any of these really. He just catches the individual stages. He gets Parasect and Paris, basically every bug Pokemon you can think of. Metapod, Butterfree. And obviously his mindset has changed since he caught Scorbunny. Because obviously he said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to catch you, Scorbunny. My first Pokemon's going to be Mew. We've all called him out being an idiot about that. So I'm glad he caught Scorbunny. And then he's realised catching Pokemon's great. You get to have new friends and experience a lot of different things with different Pokemon. So for me, it was kind of a nothing episode again, very similar to episode 3 with Bulbasaur. These episodic episodes can either be very good or just kind of a bit dull, because when it's just Ash and Go, with other Pokemon series, there's so many other characters who can change the dynamic of a show. They're going to focus on someone else. It's just Ash and Go this series, and obviously Go is still finding his way and just kind of learning about the Pokemon world. This was a perfect episode for Team Rocket, just like the Bulbasaur one. And again, they didn't make an appearance. We know they're showing up very soon in, I say next week's episode. I think the next episode, not episode 7, which we're going to talk about later, but episode 8, I think it might be delayed until, well, not delayed, but it's taking a break. So, but we know Team Rocket are coming, but to say that two out of the 8 episodes they've appeared is pretty bad.
Oh, I didn't think this was an episode for them, really, because it was all about Go catching Pokemon. It was as simple as that. Yeah, you're right, it's not the most interesting, but it had to be done. We knew before the show aired that Go wanted to catch all these Pokemon, and we had to see what he was all about. it would be a bit out of place, I think, for Team Rocket to come into it, though I do agree they are a bit sparse in this series.
Definitely
so far.
underused, yeah.
Yeah, but their time will come, and I think the series will grow. But like I say, a decent episode. Go catching a Scyther, really cool. But yeah, we move on to this week's episode, don't we?
We do. This was more of an interesting one, simply because they go back to probably my favourite region. Ash just goes up to Go as they're doing their like morning exercises and says, we're going to the Hoenn region. They don't really, unlike when they get to Galar and they're saying, hey, there's giant Pokemon, being reported on the news. That's why they go investigate the Galar region. They just go to the Hoenn region, and I think obviously Ash has caught wind of the Battle Frontier because he enters this tournament. It is not the Battle Frontier we remember from the Pokemon anime, which is kind of disappointing. I feel like, I know people say, hey, this isn't a reboot because you see Ash's trophy from Alola and all his other stuff, but it kind of feels like it anyway, regardless of, because he doesn't bring any of his old Pokemon. He doesn't mention that he's won the Battle Frontier before. For me, as a long-time fan, that kind of annoys me. It's just a little oversight for me. I just don't like when they don't bring up past achievements in Pokemon. But it's a fun episode, just seeing the Hoenn region again. It seems to be the Battle Frontier from Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, not the type of Battle Frontier we've seen from Pokemon Emerald and obviously the anime, which actually was set in Kanto, surprisingly. So, yeah, fun episode, wasn't it all?
Yeah, it was good. I've got to say the MVPs of the episode are, of course, Mr. Mime. Not only for his facial reactions, but also he's quite adept in battle. Also want to give a shout out to my boy Metapod for nearly destroying a rock. Sagaragi seemed to be more concerned about that than a Pokemon's well-being, but
I think he panicked so
off.
much that he thought that was Metapod, I think.
Yeah, perhaps so. But yeah, it was funny just to see how cool and collected he was after nearly destroying himself after Scorbunny had kicked him.
Yeah, I feel like we need a bit more comedy in this series. That made me laugh quite a bit, and I was like, this is what I've missed. Like, from we're not really getting that from like the Pokemon Sun and Moon vibes, which are kind of quite comedic and just fun. It's been a bit too serious for my liking.
Yeah,
recently.
a little bit at times. I will say, in regards to your Battle Frontier critique, this feels like a Battle Frontier sponsored mini tournament more than anything. It doesn't feel like the official Battle Frontier, so I wouldn't feel upset about Ash not mentioning it, because like I say, this is a pretty nondescript tournament with, well, nobody's entering. The fact that you don't need any qualifications to enter. Go's never had a Pokemon battle. He strolls up and he's in the tournament bracket. Yeah, it's no wonder Ash didn't mention about winning the Battle Frontier, because this simply isn't it for me.
So we do get to see a side character who's kind of like integral to this episode, Hoji. He is a very good character, really like his design, and he's just a good guy. He's one of those delinquent kind of type of characters you think, oh, he's going to be just not a nice guy, and he's a good laugh. He has some strong Pokemon like Hariyama and Mightyena, and which kind of obviously suit the delinquent look in a way. But he just likes Pokemon battles, and he's just a good-natured guy, which is I kind of like it. It was just a good episode, I guess. In terms of, we finally get to see some Pokemon battling we've not really seen, I guess, since Ash fought Scorbunny when he ran off with his bag.
Yeah, this was definitely the best we've seen in terms of Pokemon battling, just not because of like animation and stuff, but how Ash adapts to certain scenarios and how he's flexible in certain situations. I really enjoyed this new character. Was it Hoji?
Hoji, yes.
Yeah, he steals the limelight whenever he's on screen. He's just a fun, lovable bloke. I hope we see him again. I'm pretty sure we will.
Definitely. So basically, this episode isn't necessarily for Ash, but this is more about Go learning to love Pokemon battles. He's obviously only knows about catching Pokemon. He enters the tournament, gets basically demolished by Hoji first round, and he just says catching Pokemon's better. Pokemon battles aren't great. So Ash just said, hey, watch my Pokemon battles. And obviously Go just he's upset. He goes off to catch Pokemon, misses basically every battle until the last one, which is, of course, as we all expected, Hoji versus Ash. And yeah, just seeing how Ash adapts to beat Mightyena in the last bit. Go learns to love how, Pokemon battles are amazing. They shouldn't be overlooked because of, catching Pokemon to you is better. They're both great. And basically in the episode, there's a hole in the ceiling from Pikachu's Thunderbolt. Ash says, hey, use Electro Web up at the hole in the ceiling. So Pikachu kind of like slingshots himself with the Electro Web back down to Mightyena. It's just brilliant tactics from Ash. He always thinks outside the box. And yeah, it was just a fun episode. Definitely made me miss Pokemon Advance for sure, going back to Hoenn. Although it didn't feel like Hoenn, it just felt like the little island from Oras, which I guess that's where that place was.
Yeah, it looks like it. At the end of the day, I would say this one was probably a better episode than episode 6.
Definitely.
I found it a lot more enjoyable. It seemed a bit more purpose to it as well. And of course, we understand that Go's going to be frustrated. He's new to this. He's not going to, get a feeling for battling and catching right away until he throws himself into the midst of it, really. And I think he will become quite a good Pokemon battler, because Ash wasn't particularly great when he first started. And it just shows that, with a bit of learning and a bit of time, I think Go will become a very good Pokemon trainer. But, James, I think it's time for your scores of the episodes.
So, you guys know I always score the episodes. Ollie doesn't, which is fair enough. For me, I thought episode 6 was not the weakest episode, because I still think episode 3 with all the Bulbasaur, that just bored me. So this one's around a 6.5 to a 7. It was fine. Again, it just wasn't that interesting because it was all Kanto Pokemon. We've seen these Pokemon before, a long time ago. This week's episode, episode 7, going back to Hoenn, it's just nice to see some Pokemon battles. We barely had any Pokemon battles. It's good to see some Hoenn Pokemon like Hariyama and Mightyena, and Go catches a few more Pokemon, so it's kind of like episode 6, but with more interest, really. And it's the best bit for me about episode 7 was the starting bit with the Metapod and them doing morning exercises. I still don't get the point of Koharu. Like, they've got a big voice actress for her. She's barely in it so far. This is what I'm saying. With Ash and Go, it's boring watching them travel because you've got to rely on them too. Whereas, like, with other series, you had Dawn, you had Brock, you had May and Max. I mean, people hate Max. I do too. But at least you could change the episode's dynamic around a certain character. You can't with this one. You just got Ash or Go. So I really hope Koharu joins. I think it would definitely make the episodes a bit more interesting, have a different point of view.
Yeah, I think it's only a matter of time before that happens. I think they're just going to visit every region and then something within the storyline is going to change. She's clearly a prominent character within the show with having such an A-listed voice actress, behind her character. I think it's only a matter of time. We're definitely having a long series with this one. It is essentially a soft reboot allowing for new fans to join in the franchise. Yeah. So, like I say, I think it's only a matter of time.
Because we don't really know much about her at all. We don't know what she likes or dislikes, how she feels about Pokemon. Nothing.
No, and again, I think it's hinted at, but we don't really know, and I think we will eventually. But moving on from that, I just want to talk about the next episode that's coming up. We saw a preview for that.
Yes, I don't know the exact name of this episode, but they go to the Sinnoh region, and this involves Piplup and Krogunk, which again is kind of a throwback to the Diamond and Pearl days. It isn't Dawn's Piplup, unfortunately. It's not Brock's Krogunk, but it should be a really fun episode. It looks good. It looks like it takes place at Snowpoint City, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's a race episode, isn't it? It's like Drift Ice or something.
Yeah.
And Team Rocket return, which is something that you wanted to see.
Yeah,
so that's good.
It's about time. So they'll be using their machine, or like their kind of vending machine, no doubt. Capsule machine, whatever you want to call it.
It looks like the submarine makes a return as well, so I'm curious to see what that'll be this season.
Yeah, but those were the 2 episodes, guys. Still a lot of fun, still good, still worth watching. Of course, I kind of do hope things change. They are very episodic in nature, these episodes, compared to what we've had in the past. It's not like an ongoing thing with Ash, like, going across the region to do his journey. They just can go wherever they want, which is kind of interesting. But I also do miss the 2-part episodes and stuff. But guys, if you did enjoy this review, of course, as always, make sure to hit the like button down below to show your support. And if you want to stay up to date with everything Pokemon anime, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below to become a part of the Twintendo Nation.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and we will see you on the next episode review.
Peace!